What's going on, guys? Cameron back again from Attack on Anime, here to bring you my first impressions on the first technically 3 episodes, because the first episode was broken into 2 parts, but of Re:Zero starting life in another world. And this anime, it was impressive to me, and I really liked it at first because it felt like 2 of my favorite animes from last anime season. It felt like a mixture of Erased with Konosuba, and as I go through the review, you guys will start to see the similarities in what I see in it. But we start off with Subaru, and he's just going about his normal life until one day he's just transferred to a parallel world. And he thinks that, okay, I've been up all night playing video games. Maybe I'm just tweaking right now. And then once he looks around and he's just like, no. There are cat people walking around. There are demon-looking things. Like, no, this is all pretty real. And he's pretty clueless in this world because he thinks just because he's transferred to this world that he's automatically about to just have some magic powers. So he tries to like cast a spell and it doesn't work. And then he's just like going around, walking down the wrong alleys, walking into the wrong bars. And everybody's just looking at him like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you obviously are not from around here. And everyone can clearly tell that. And that's what I say, it's kind of like Konosuba in that aspect, because the main character from that kind of thought, oh, I'm going to go to this parallel world and I'm going to automatically be a badass. And that's what Subaru thinks in this anime. But as he's walking down the wrong alley, he gets jumped by these thugs, and he's just like, oh man, I guess I'm going to have to fight my way out of this. And he actually starts giving them a go, which actually surprised me because I thought he was just about to get worked. And he's giving them the go until one of them pulls these blades out, and then he instantly goes into submissive mode. He's just like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, you win. And this girl named Satella comes by and saves him, not really out of kindness. She's looking for her insignia, and she's like, okay, I know she came through here and you saw her, so if you see her face, you'll be able to tell me what she looks like. So she's pretty much just like, I'm doing you a favor if you do me a favor, and that's how this is gonna work. But we find out later that Satella is actually really kind-hearted because they help this little girl find her family, and that actually generates some good karma for them because they end up meeting the store owner, and the store owner was like a hard ass at first, but once he found out, oh, you saved my daughter, alright, I'm going to lighten up a bit, I'm going to help you out, I'm going to give you some information on who may have taken your insignia. And they find out that this girl named Felt from the slums may have something to do with where her insignia went and why it's gone missing. So they go down to the slums and they go down to this loot house, and literally when they walk in, they just see a dead body. We later find out his name is Old Man Ram, but literally they just walk in, see blood on the floor, and they both get killed. And it's actually a scene that they showed us in the beginning of the anime, and we didn't really understand what it was at first, but once you start to see this scene play out, it's the same exact scene from the beginning. And I'm just like, man, what's about to happen? You just killed your main character in like technically like the first or second episode. I'm like, what are you doing? And then we find out that Subaru has, this is where the erase part comes in, a revival type power that he calls return by death. I'm just going to call it revival because that is almost essentially what it is. It happens more frequently than revival. It happens every time he dies. So anytime he dies, he'll come back, and that's a good thing and a bad thing for this anime. It works with the anime just because of how the story is going, and he's so clueless in this world, he needs a couple redos in order to understand things and to fix certain mistakes that he made. But the bad thing is, this dude dies like 4 or 5 times and we're only on the 3rd episode. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you're really bad at what you do right now. And we later meet one of the main antagonists. I don't know if she's the main antagonist, but she's pretty damn strong. Her name is Elsa, and this lady is cutthroat. She's an assassin, and she's the one who killed Old Man Ram and Felt the first time that he walked into the loot house. But we find out why she's there. She's also there because she was sent by a client to go get the insignia from Felt. So Subaru's plan is to go in and stop her from getting the insignia so he can return it to Satella. Now the bad part about his revival type power is whenever he comes back, nobody remembers his face. And since he's such an outlander, like anytime he comes back, he has to like make up a cover story or try to like work it in with his story into the point where he can fix his mistakes and he can get the insignia back and get it back to Satella. And we find out Satella isn't even like her real name. Like, Satella is the name of the jealous witch. Now, when she's explained to him like her origin, kind of, she explains that she's a half elf, and she expects Subaru to like freak out about that. And he's just like, okay, whatever, you're a half elf. And he's just like, I play a lot of RPGs, and you know, elf women are pretty hot. And then he was just like, you're pretty gorgeous. And she's just like, why aren't you freaked out by that? So they don't really explain why she's acting like that, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with a really taboo thing. Like, I'm pretty sure being a half elf is like really taboo in that world. But I'm really excited to find out more about that. And also, when he came back from the Return by Death one time and he sees her, now this is before he met her in the alleyway, she says, why would you call me by the jealous witch's name? And he's like, that's the name you gave me. So I'm just like, does she have split personality? Does that have something to do with the half elf? I'm just really interested to find out why she seems to have this split personality. And Elsa is really intimidating as a main villain. Anytime she comes in, she commands a presence, because you can tell she's so powerful. Even after seeing her take out Felt and Old Man Rom, it was so cutthroat. One of the things that I was really annoyed by in these episodes was one time when he came back using Return by Death, the store owner seems to remember him. He says, oh yeah, you helped my daughter. But in this part, it was before he actually met Satella. So I'm just like, so do you like pick and choose what gets to remain, like what they remember about you? Because one time the store owner says, this is the first time I met you, I don't know anything about you. Then the next one, he was just like, oh, you helped my daughter. But I'm like, he hasn't met Satella yet, so how did he help your daughter? So that's just really confusing. That's why I don't really like when animes do this whole, oh, you get a redo and you get to go back. And I was just like, it's okay, but once you abuse it, like they're kind of starting to do, like you've already used it like 4 times in the first 3 episodes, so you're already starting to kind of abuse it. And that just kind of gets under my skin sometimes. Like, I just hope they explain like in detail of where he got it from and how it exactly worked. I also love how he's trying to buy the insignia by trading his cell phone, because he tricks them into thinking it's a media, and a media is essentially like a media device in their world. It's just like new, really rare, and it's worth like 20 holy coins. So he's in a bidding war with Elsa over the insignia, and when she loses, she gets real salty and she's just like, yeah, I lost, but I'm just going to kill you all and take it anyway. So every time he gets killed, he's just like, alright, I need to get that insignia back because I need to help Satella, because if she goes to that storehouse, she's going to keep dying. Like, anytime she goes there, she's going to die, and if I don't die with her, then I can't redo it and bring her back. So I think that's just a really interesting aspect to it, and he just really wants to help her out of the kindness of his own heart, because he's just like, I don't want her to waste her whole life, because she seems like she's leading this lonely path. So I just want to be that person, to be there by her and do one good deed a day to help her out until she gets her insignia back. And also, by the end of the 2nd episode, we see Satella show up at the loot house instead of Elsa. Now, I'm really kind of like paranoid about this, because the fact that Satella is there, because I think Subaru told Reinhard, he was just like, if you see this girl with the white hair, tell her to stay away from the loot house. And you know girls sometimes, they don't like to listen. So when you tell them don't go near here, they're just going to be like, oh, so I'm going to go there. So now that she's there, and this deal is supposed to be going down between Elsa and Felt over the insignia, but Subaru's there trying to get the insignia back by trading his phone before Elsa gets there. But now that Satella's there, it's going to stall stuff, and if Elsa shows up, I feel like they're all going to die again, and then he's going to have to, like, revive back. So it's just like, this anime can like easily get repetitive, and it already kind of has. I'm kind of tired of seeing that same, like, you would think after the first time of him going down that alleyway, he would stop going down that alleyway and getting jumped by the thugs, but he continues to go down there and get jumped by the thugs. And then at one point, he literally just walked up, he had just got revived, walked down the alleyway, tried to pass the thugs, and then got stabbed and died again. So I'm just like, this is getting kind of repetitive, and we're only 3 episodes in. So I just really hope they find a way for him to actually solve this problem and get this insignia back. And also, the thing about the insignia is, he always says, I'm trying to give it back to its original owner. And they're just like, the original owner, like, that's pretty taboo to even talk about, because once he even says it, they're just like, are you trying to get yourself killed? So there's just a lot of mysteries to this, about a lot of things that go on in this land, a lot of shady stuff, like who hired Elsa, there's just so many more things to this anime, and there's just things that I don't like about it already. I actually want to see how the story develops and how they're gonna start to how he's gonna start to fix everything. And it starts by getting that insignia back and giving it back to Satella, if that's even her real name, because apparently that's not her name. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think of this anime. I'm rather enjoying it. I'm starting to find some gripes with it, but I want to see it overall until the end so I can judge it at the full, like after its full conclusion. And I just hope it doesn't keep getting really repetitive, like I said. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be doing this weekly because it's a pretty popular anime, and it did catch my attention in the first episode because the animation is beautiful. The opening and ending themes are really good. I love them. I listen to them all the time. Like, even after I finished the episode, I was like, man, I got to listen to that ending again. That was a pretty cool ending. But yeah, guys, let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. But until next time, guys, peace.